cursor.
Won't you listen to reason? Will you open your eyes? It's a wonder what you'll find with an open mind. You may be surprised. Yeah, gotta get away from this illusion for the sake of the world. This delusion has gotta go.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to another enticing episode of the Atheist Experience. I am your host, Russell Glasser, and with me today is Martin Wagner.
How to do?
That is the first time I've seen the new intro.
Nice one, isn't it?
Because I always listen on podcast. I don't want to see everybody's face,
I can
but
understand.
I have to say that looked awesome. So if you're like me, then you should at least check out one show. On
See
the
what we're doing
blip.tv.
here. Right. Yeah.
Today is April. Today is
We're getting off to
Sunday.
a good start already, aren't we?
Today is Sunday, May 2nd. I still have my intro left over from the show I didn't do last month. Let's see. So today is May 2nd, and we are a live call-in public access atheist television show based in Austin, Texas. We take calls from the local Austin area, and thanks to the audience on our live internet stream, we take them from all over the world as well. The Atheist Experience is sponsored by the Atheist Community of Austin, a nonprofit educational organization promoting positive atheism and the separation of church and state. You can find out more by visiting www.atheist-community.org. And when you do, be sure to check out the FAQ page for answers to frequently asked questions. This show is live every Sunday from 4:30 to 6 p.m. Central Time on Austin Access Channel 16. If you would like to watch us live outside of Austin, simply visit the official Atheist Experience website, www.atheist-experience.com, and click on Live Stream at the top of the page. You can also participate in a chat room during the show. Also at the website, you'll find audio and video from past episodes. If you click on Archive, you will find a list of programs that have already been played. And there's a podcast. You can catch fan-selected clips of the Atheist Experience on YouTube. And you can also see full episodes of the show at blip.tv, as I mentioned. Or you can subscribe to the audio podcast. And in addition to that show, the ACA sometimes sponsors a bi-weekly internet audio podcast.
Maybe we should leave the bi-weekly part out of that.
Yeah.
Because it's been really erratic
Sponsors
lately.
a rare internet audio
Yeah.
podcast called The Nonprofits. We're actually working through changing the schedule around right now. So it's up in the air when the next episode is going to be, but there's going to be one. We haven't all died. Dillahunty International Studios has not burned to the ground. So
That's a relief, because it's kind of a fire trap.
Yeah.
You look at the place.
that's true.
Yeah. I mean, I thought I lived in clutter. We love Matt.
Yes, we do. Anyway, weekly meetings for the Atheist Community of Austin are hosted at Romeo's on Barton Springs Road from 11:30 to 1 every Sunday, except for the first Sunday of the month when we host our lecture series at the Austin History Center, located at the corner of 9th and Guadalupe. There was a lecture scheduled for this morning, but instead of a lecture, we did an election. And it turns out that Matt is still president, having failed to be overthrown in a bloody coup. The board members are now many of the same people there were before, but they're Jen, and there's David Tyler, Shelley, Keith, Chuck Clark's back on, John Iacoletti, and the two Dons, Baker and Rhodes. So that's your rundown for the election.
So you're saying we're stuck in a rut, right? It's a status quo all over again.
Yeah, it's never
We're
gonna
just
change.
we're conservative here. We're just too conservative at
Right,
the ACA.
that's exactly it.
Sorry. Yeah.
We get letters all the time to the show saying, stop being so conservative.
What can you do? We like it that way.
Call this the conservative atheist experience. If you can't make it to the morning meetings, you can always join us for the much cooler meeting, which is dinner right after this show. I'll be there. Martin, will, probably be there. There's a pretty good studio audience right now, and the people from the crew, they'll all be there probably. So anyway, if you want to do that, you can come on over to Threadgills at 301 West Riverside Drive, 6:30 p.m., half an hour after the show ends. And come on down and hang out. Finally, the ACA also hosts an atheist happy hour every Thursday beginning at around 7 p.m. at the Dog and Duck Pub located at the corner of 17th and Guadalupe. If you'd like to get in touch with us but don't feel like calling in, then you can always email us, and many, many of you do.
Yay.
tv@atheist-community.org. We get tons of emails. We don't answer them all, but we really try hard.
We do.
Be sure to check out the unofficial show blog at atheistexperience.blogspot.com without the hyphen, and the comprehensive counter-apologetics wiki at ironchariots.org. There is one special announcement today, which is that 2 weeks from today, on May 16th, 2010, instead of the normal morning meeting, we're actually going to do a rally because the State Board of Education, you might have heard, are idiots here in Texas, and we're protesting that because we're against idiocy.
Yeah. In conjunction, there's
Do you have
other
anything to say? What?
No, there's other groups though, right? I mean, it's
Yeah.
going to be a whole bunch of us.
Okay.
Yeah, right. I think isn't it just into some official capacity? Aren't like some of the CFI folks going to be there and AA people?
Don't ask me that question.
Well, because
but,
I've just seen different groups sort of all coming together for
all right,
this.
well, that's cool. Part
Well,
of the
that would be
benefit
nice.
of living at the Capitol, where all the idiocy
Yeah.
is housed.
But this is about the State Board of Education doing their little right-wing revisionist history in the Texas textbooks.
They've been doing it for years and years. We've been involved with it since 2003. There's the Texas Freedom Network that does fantastic work opposing
Yes.
this, but sometimes,
Maybe that's something of TFN, not
Yeah, it could be Texas Freedom Network.
not the CFI.
Yeah, but yeah, so I mean, the latest thing they did was, and by the way, if you want to call in, I think neither of us have a particular topic that we're burning to talk about, so you can go ahead and put up the phone number anytime, and we're just going to sort of wrap until we get some callers in.
And they're starting to come in. So,
So the latest thing they did was social stuff, or like history stuff, where they wanted to take out, they wanted to have less Jefferson so they could make room for more Newt Gingrich.
Pretty
Isn't that
much,
it?
yeah.
That's about the summary.
the idea is just sort of downplay the role of white-skinned Christians in the country's history.
Right. Well,
And,
I mean, Jefferson was definitely white-skinned, and he was something.
But
he did say that he was a Christian in the only meaningful sense of the word, which was that he agreed with the dude named Jesus.
Right.
And then wrote
his own version of
expurgated
the
Bible with no miracles.
Right, which is like this long compared to, but they've also done things like suggest that it's not really all that important for students to learn about people like Cesar Chavez and Thurgood Marshall, but they want them all to know about Phyllis Schlafly, right?
Oh
So
yeah,
it's
I really
just-
want to know about her.
So now what's happened is that there has been something of a shakeup. The most recent elections, the recent Republican primaries, Don McElroy was given the boot.
Right, but
And,
he's not out yet, right?
But he's not out yet.
So
right?
he's going out in a
he's
blaze of glory.
Yeah, so that he's more moderate Republicans have come in to fill that kind of extremist, ultra right wing, fundy teabagger domination of the SBOE. It really has made the state an international laughingstock that we have this State Board of Education, run by very poorly, if not completely uneducated people. And so, it's been now over several years with evolution in the science textbooks, and now they're taking on history and social studies, to try to do this whole right-wing whitewash and revisionism. And so, a whole bunch of different groups have been protesting this.
And they're never going to stop until the rest of you Texans take more of an interest in your local school board elections.
Yes.
Because school board elections appear boring, but then the fanatical right wing says, "Oh, this election is really, really important for the future of our children," by which they mean somebody else's children because they all homeschool, right? And then they get in like fundy people who then set the agenda for the rest of the country.
Well, you get somebody like Cynthia Dunbar on there who has written a book where she says that public education is some evil tool of the state, and it's just like, oh yeah,
Yes.
this is somebody.
Case in point.
Yeah, this is somebody that you want on the State Board of Education shepherding, actual public education in Texas. Somebody who wants to completely demolish it instead of improve it. And so we don't need some of that. We don't need the ideologues. We need people out there who are going to be fair, and they're not going to think that education is all about politicizing people's kids. So.
Yep.